How's it going, everybody? And welcome to the TNA Body Slam post show. We're here covering, obviously, Victory Road was last night. We're here to talk about everything that went down from that show. And we got a little extra news if you're a TNA fan. If for the people watching NXT No Mercy tonight, yes, we will have a TNA NXT invasion. So, yeah. How are you doing tonight? Sorry, I'm joined as always by the great Io. How you doing, Io?
I'm doing good, man. Couldn't complain. Having a good weekend. From a wrestling fan standpoint, and my business standpoint, just came from a birthday party and stuff. But can't complain. How about you, man? And
I'm doing good as well.
Just finished watching NXT No Mercy too.
I'm doing good as well. Finally got some cooler weather out here for the first time in a while, so nice. Yeah, and as you mentioned, let's get right into it. I want you to take us off. What went down tonight with NXT No Mercy?
Yeah.
Obviously, we know the headline.
So NXT GM Ava made the announcement that October 7th, in 2 weeks, they'll be hosting NXT Invasion. That's right, NXT versus TNA, head to head, officially going to war. So within that night, there's going to be 2 Survivor Series tag matches between one for the men and one for the women. Santana and Ava are going to go over. They're going to announce their teams this coming Tuesday. Should be very interesting. Also along that night, we're gonna have the Hardys, the TNA Tag Champs, going up against Dark State, the NXT Tag Champs, titles versus titles. I'm very, very excited for that one. I think she announced Oba versus Trick again. No interference. There must be a winner. But that's what she announced so far. So mind you, this is also days before Bound for Glory. So it's going to be a very big, loaded week for TNA and TNA fans. So what was your thoughts when the announcement was made for Invasion?
Well, first of all, when I heard that, my immediate thought was like, yes, this also is another thing that can kind of cool everyone down. Especially, I'm sure the conversations around,
especially after last night, Victory Road, like you're kind of puzzled. Like, a lot of things make sense now. So,
but you know what? I think you nailed it, especially in talking about when this show is in proximity to Bound for Glory. Like, I think it's when you're going to start seeing TNA get a lot of wins back, including like obviously Bound for Glory being the ultimate win. You know what I mean? Especially because, you know what I mean? Just because like we kind of talked about last night when you did your space. I think the ultimate goal still too is when TNA comes out of this with that potential new media deal, you know what I mean? I think people are going to be kind of quiet, you know what I mean? Especially the haters. But yeah, this should silence a lot of people. Yeah, this is kind of big, you know what I mean? This show should be very exciting. And in terms of the matches, I'm hoping we don't see for example, we're seeing at Bound for Glory the system in Order 4 in a match. I'm hoping we see some different people involved in this, like a 5-on-5. Like we definitely want to see Maclin in there, and probably it would be nice. I would think they're going to put Santana in there as well, because I could see Trick being on the NXT team, and it would only make sense.
Yeah.
Who do you think we're going to see there? Just early predictions. Who do you think we're going to see in the men's side?
I think Frankie Kazarian will be one of them, because seems like he's going to be on NXT this Tuesday.
Yeah.
Moose, probably Maclin, Santana, Mustafá. That's probably my 3. Yeah, mainly the guys who are very protective of the TNA brand are willing to fight, and of course you got to have Maclin on it. I mean, because he's if anyone on the roster who bleeds TNA right now is it's guys like him, Kazarian, Moose, Santana, and Mustafá. So I would say kind of those four. It's kind of tough on the women's side, I know, because of certain things, obviously. But I guess we'll find out as later. Well, I guess we'll find out on Tuesday. But yeah,
What would be funny is because I believe I've heard people talk I've seen a few people mention this. It would be funny if Joe was on Team TNA, and then he was to turn heel and join. You know what I mean? And join Team NXT. I've heard. You know what I mean? And that would be interesting. You know what I mean? But it is too soon for him to do that at this point. I mean, the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. But I thought that was funny because I could see him being on Team TNA. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think that would be.
I'd be surprised he has any part in this because right now, like he's doing his other thing in NXT and between TNA. So yeah.
But then, as you meant. As you mentioned, we're also getting winner take all Hardys versus Dark State. That should be an interesting match.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. I don't know because I'm surprised I haven't heard many of the people who are with the agenda of them taking too many titles from us. I could see how that one could get people upset already because.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna have the Hardys.
We already got like NXT, TNA title matches, Bound for Glory, and now we're at another one. But this one particular, I kind of feel very confident on this one. I'll explain that reason at another time. But yeah, because like as I mentioned, like Invasion is days before Bound for Glory, so yeah, you kind of put two in there.
Yeah, that I'll just say that that'd be very interesting if that means if I think I know where you're going, the Hardys winning. It would just be very funny if then the Hardys versus Dudleys match, the NXT titles are on the line, and just the idea of the Dudleys going for those titles in 2025, let alone the Hardys. It's very funny.
It would mean like having those titles on a possible TNA pay-per-view would be pretty cool and stuff. And the Hardys winning NXT titles, like who would ever imagine that? So anything, as we know, anything can happen in this business.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Okay, did you have anything else that you would wanted to say about tonight's show before we get into what went down on Victory Road?
I think that's about it. I mean, we're going to talk a lot more about Invasion, the coming days. So I think that's about it.
Yeah, because we have one more show, and then we're gonna kind of get into that before because you know what I mean. It's not next week. Well, yeah, it's not next week, but the week after. So yeah. Exactly. Okay. Just want to remind before we get into everything, Victory Road. Let me just want to remind everyone this week's podcast is sponsored by Shroom Bar, the protein mushroom bar. It's made up of not psychedelic but 4 powerful mushroom adaptions. It has lion's mane, which increases focus, memory, and neuroplasticity, make it easier to form new patterns and learn new things. Next time you're trying to learn that new movie, it will actually stick in your head rather than forgetting it immediately. It has cordyceps, which increases VO2 max, blood flow, and overall endurance. It has reishi, which decreases stress. It has turkey tail, which boosts your immune system. And we all know you're going to need that when you're on those nasty-ass gym mats. On top of all that is 12 grams of protein. Go to eatshroombar.com and use the code BODYSLAM at checkout for 25% off your first order. Okay. I think just out of respect, before we even get into the Victory Road matches, we should open this show with obviously the big news. And I'm pretty sure, I would assume everyone who doesn't even watch TNA has heard this. As you know, Ash by Elegance had to give up the Knockouts title. It was very unexpected. I think I saw it during the day that an announcement was put out that she had an announcement. I didn't get the sense that it was going to be bad news just from the wording of it. But yeah, as I mentioned, Ash by Elegance did have to give up the title. So that led to a battle royale for the number one and number 2 contenders who were going to have a match later that night, taking place I think as soon after the announcement was made. But what were your first thoughts when you heard this? Was heartbreaking as soon as I heard this. But what were your thoughts when you heard this?
Yeah, definitely heartbreaking and very surprising too. Like I was with you when they put up the graphic that Ash had an announcement. You know, you kind of figure like at first it was probably like maybe probably like something that's gonna probably lead to her her match coming up at BFG. Um, but yeah, for this one, yeah, it seemed like this it seems like something like a very personal matter. Like you can tell like when you can tell like as soon as like she was in the ring and her sadness, and then you kind of wonder like okay, why is Tommy Dreamer or Carlos Silva there too? So you kind of understand like yeah, this is probably an important matter. We're not sure exactly what's the situation, but um, yeah, she talked to the fans, basically kind of like saying like goodbye, and then appreciating for them, you know, appreciating her, when they see her on the screen, whether they cheer her and boo her, and a lot of them boo her because she's a good cocky heel and this and that. So yeah, when she announced that she had to vacate the title, that kind of shocked me. Like I remember texting on the group chat, and it's like, what? Like what's going on? This stuff. Yeah, and as you watch it back, you kind of realize that.
I'm waiting for Al to come back so he can finish his statement. Sorry, folks. Okay. I'll go. Yeah, Teco, Io's point. This was like I said, I did not see this coming. This was very shocking. Obviously heartbreaking for Ash. This is the best of Ash. Oh, sorry, Al.
Sorry, yeah, sorry about that. I had a little Wi-Fi issue. So yeah, basically, yeah, this wasn't Ash by Elegance cutting the promo. This was basically Ashley cutting the promo. You can tell like the sadness in there. I know you kind of pretty much said a lot, but yeah, this is pretty much very heartbreaking scene. And when she dropped the knockout title, you just kind of like, yeah, just kind of like, yeah, you're just kind of pause a moment, like, okay, what's happening now? Um, Obviously, the situation with Masha Slamovich and stuff, and now Ash by Elegance dropping the title. You just kind of figure what's next. But yeah, let you continue after that.
Yeah, no, because again, like this is like I was saying a little bit. This is like the best Ash of her career. You know what I mean? Like this is the best of her. Like especially too, like you saw like now you see like what she's capable of with because she was like given nothing in WWE really. You know what I mean? Like they're just bouncing around from idea to idea, and then like so now you see like what happens when they commit to her, and so that's just what makes it even more sad because like just for it all to end like this, you know what I mean? And like again, we don't know
right.
any of the,
And like
yeah,
it just happened unexpectedly. Like I'm still trying to figure like what exactly like went wrong and stuff. Like because like 2 weeks ago she just had that celebration, that celebration thing, and then she competed I think last week, and because folks are still under like, is she injured, is she pregnant, or whatnot, that other stuff. So yeah, I mean, hopefully, maybe when the time is right, she kind of uh, tells her side, like what's going on. But yeah. So yeah, this kind of really put a blow towards the knockouts division. Yeah, now that two knockouts are out of the scene right now at the moment.
Before
But
we
I mean,
even
yeah,
get
for yeah,
move,
sorry for so yeah to I know. I want to say, yeah, Ash by Elegance. Former Dana Brooke. She's done incredible. I think we can all agree she's done an incredible run here at TNA. Really, kind of
Exactly.
shadow away that whole WWE persona. That whole WWE quote unquote failed run and set it and stuff. So yeah, to the even point where she even got back to WWE and even won the TNA Knockouts title there. So it says a lot, the career rejuvenous for Ash, and eventually, doing well with the Elegance brand, elevating Heather and M, and of course, the personal concierge, being the driving force towards that group and Ash character. So she's definitely going to be missed. So.
Yeah, that's what it makes it just so sad because this was like, and I don't even think she had reached her peak because now, like, once you saw this, it's like, okay, now it's like, where else could they go with this? Because yeah, she was on the run of a lifetime, and I thought it just was beginning. Like they said, this is the era of Elegance, and just for it to end like this.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to say, and I think we mentioned a little last night. I hope that they continue. Like, I hope Maggie and Heather continue, and I hope they do something. Like, I hope, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they're in a tough spot too.
They could bring somebody in that group. You know what I mean? I believe we talked a little bit last night. That could be something they do, whether that works or not. But I do think that Heather and M as a team, at the very least, should continue. So yeah, they're in a very tough spot.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get into the matches, is there anything else you would like to say before we get into that?
I think that's about it. Yeah, we kind of covered up on how much Ash has meant to the Knockouts division. Again, she's going to be missed. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, she's done great. Well, we're going to miss you, Ash. Take it easy.
Okay, we're gonna start. Here we go. We're Victory Road live from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, which I couldn't believe that was their, because TNA goes to Canada quite a bit, especially late, as of this late regime. So I did not know they hadn't been there. You know what I mean? That was interesting.
I think they've been to like all the major parts in Canada, probably besides that one.
But yeah, this was a good crowd again. Like these, I think people probably sleep on these shows when they hear they're like a plus special, but you know what I mean? I thought that show was very good. You know what I mean? And I think that the quick pivots, the surprises, I thought the show was very good. But we open up with a fun three-way. Again, I think TNA and three-ways, I think they know what to do when it comes to those. Yeah, fun match. What'd you think about this? Zachary Wentz was able to get the win. Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, this was a good showing between three talented guys: Cedric, Trey, and Wentz. Yeah, throughout most of the match, you knew that the Rascals were going to work on Cedric while, kind of like, work on him while, focus on the other two and stuff. And that's what kind of like about, these triple threats. You always have like a lot of different styles, 2-on-2 and then, Seer, and then kind of focus on 1-on-1. But, yeah, speaking of Cedric, congrats to him. As Fightful Select reported that, Cedric is signed with TNA. But yeah, for the most part, this was a pretty good match. Good sequence, a lot of reversals. At first, I kind of figure like, is this like a contenders match, for the next contender for the X Division title and stuff? But yeah, a lot of good sequence. These guys, yeah, for like when you're watching a TNA event, like of course you're gonna have the X Division kickoffs. So especially like how ironic too, like the X Division kicked off and then the X Division main evented. You know what I'm saying? So like this was a good way to kick off for the Edmonton fans. And yeah, Zachary Wentz got the win here too. What was your thoughts?
Yeah, and congratulations to Cedric Alexander. Like again, this one just feels right, just because I've mentioned before that he's in the right company now. He should have always been a TNA guy. You know what I mean? He just reminds me of a guy
Yeah.
that, you know, through the history of TNA, you see guys like Cedric Alexander. You know what I mean? Just one of those guys is like a hybrid. He belonged in this company, so especially with the emphasis on the X division, especially during the main event. That's why I loved like the way Hannafan talks about the X division, like mentioning it's the signature division of the company. Obviously the tagline is not about weight limits, it's about no limits. Especially just when you've looked at who has competed in the division throughout the years. But yeah, congratulations to Cedric. And like I said, this was a fun match.
Definitely.
Okay. Next, we're going to move into just a 6-man tag. And this was interesting just because I did not expect the system to get the win. Only because you would think that with Agent Zero being out there, I would have wanted to see the system smash them just based on that point. But again, I'm fine with this just because I think in the event, I think eventually when we're ending with this feud, the Order 4 is going to eventually be coming out on top and at the overall end of it. So I'm okay with this.
Yeah, this was a good way to continue on. Add more layer to the hardcore war match coming up and stuff. What's interesting, this is Agent's the debut for Special Agent Zero, and right from the belt, he big booted Myers, when on pretty much showed his dominance, like in his part of the match or so. Yeah, so this was kind of a good showing how much of a secret weapon, match destruction that he is to the group. But yeah, anyway, this was a good 6 tag match, a lot of sequence. Good to see JDC back. So it kind of things even out for the systems part. I kind of figured, the system was gonna get. I figured the system was gonna get the win too, because it wouldn't be right for like Order 4 to be like 2-0 that night too. So it kind of really set the tone for a later match. But good sequence, a lot of good chemistry between the good hands, Myers and Edwards. So
Yeah, no. There's something about Agent Zero that reminds me of like Joe Dorian in a way. I don't know. He's definitely he's the Joe Dorian of this group. Yeah. Dude, there's just such a it's more than just like his presence and like size, because he's a pretty big dude, but there's just something about him. He just looks like just like he's ready to fucking wreck shop in there. You know what I mean? So like I'm looking forward to I hope TNA. I know he's I'm blanking on his name, but I know he's an indie guy, obviously, and I'm hoping TNA can like continue to use him, because especially in this role, but like beyond this, I think because TNA could definitely do something with him. They haven't had a guy like that in TNA in a while, so
yeah.
Okay, next we're gonna get into what I thought was a fun match, especially what it led to. It was the Knockouts Battle Royale, and I like how they do this.
Wait. We missed out on the first class penthouse.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean we could talk about that real quick, but
Yeah. I don't know how I missed that.
Yeah, this was AJ Francis being talking smack to the Edmonton crowd. Complaining like why he ain't getting the respect that he deserves, and very typical AJ Francis promo. Then comes Matt Hardy, getting a loud pop evasion. So basically, Francis, of course, Matt was Matt says together, but Francis took it upon himself to run down the Hardys Dudley's match, saying it's the oldest tag title match in history. He's not wrong there, but saying that First Class should have won a Slammiversary and and stuff. So
I like how.
Continue.
No, I just like how it again, because we're getting a tables match. You know what I mean? I just like how it led to, later in the night them having a tables match. So because again, that's I don't know, I feel like that's something that you would see back in the day because like leading in that match, it's almost like they have to train for that match. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, I thought this was cool, especially just that it added another match because this ended up being a fun match too. Like later, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah. So long story short, Matt, was kind of defending the fans and talking right back to AJ, and then long story short, AJ put him through a table, and Matt challenged AJ to a match, and then he got put into a table for his efforts. So yeah.
Yeah, AJ's such a good heel too. When he came out later, he was getting heat. So
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go to the Knockouts Battle Royale, and I like how they do the finish in this in terms of the final two are gonna have the match later. I like that element of it. But yeah, this was fun, and obviously it made that it changed the night. Obviously, we're gonna have the Knockouts Tag Team Championship match between the Inspiration and the Elegance brand on Thursday on Impact on TV. So, but yes, this was a fun battle royale. You know what I mean? Obviously I like the two winners because the match over delivered in my opinion. But what'd you think about this?
Yeah, this was pretty quick, pretty quick, decent battle royal. I noticed immediately when the girls were walking down the ramp of Kelani Jordan. I was like, "Oh snap! Here's Kelani," because I'm a big fan of Kelani and NXT and stuff. You notice, the Inspiration and Elegance brand. That's because Santana announced that they moved the Knockouts Tag Title match for Impact Thursday, so that they can be in this battle royal. There was this one enhancement talent. I didn't even know her name in the green. She got eliminated earlier. Even Tom Hannafin didn't even know her name. So I thought I'd just point that out. But obviously, this is not the whole roster. I mean, I don't think Kelly was there. Rosemary, conspicuous by her absence, Tessa Blanchard. I mean, she just got unsuspended, but. So you can tell
Harley and Nyla weren't there. So yeah, a lot of people weren't there.
Yeah. A lot of people weren't. It was like about I think 7 or 8 people in that battle royal. But...
Yeah, because they obviously this was a very on the fly thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't think
this was on the fly. Yeah. Yeah, very good showcase and stuff. Yeah, Marshall wasn't even on it too. Yeah, good showcase for some of the lesser known knockouts. And eventually, it led down to the Inspiration, the Elegance brand, and then Lei Lee and Kelani Jordan. To where like Kelani and Lei, eliminated the 2 tag teams, and then as soon as Wright came to the 2 of them, they kind of do a little action sequence before a little quick action sequence before Mackenzie announced that it's down to them. So later on tonight, it's going to be Lei Ling and Kelani Jordan to determine the next Knockouts World Champion. How did you feel? How did you feel when it came down to Lei Ling and Kelani?
Well, first of all, to Salty Snowman's point, I think because this was so, I don't think that they knew about the Ash thing probably till the day of, unless I'm wrong. I'm just speculating, but like I don't think they had many women. They didn't have anybody there. Yeah, so that's probably why there was an enhancement talent in the match because again they had to do what they had to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. So in terms of Kelani winning, being Kelani and Lei, I really like that decision because. I think they wanted to make sure that we got a good match. You know what I mean? Like a good world title match. And again, we certainly did. We're going to talk about it. But again, I have no problem with it. I'm not one of those people who is, kind of keeping track of who's won how many belts. You know what I mean? I'm not keeping score on that. So, and I'm with you because when this whole thing started, the partnership, the two names that I wanted to see the most in TNA from the women's side, from NXT from the women's side, were Kelani and Sol Ruca. I think those are like the two gems that NXT's really hit on. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like women coming from people coming from non wrestling backgrounds. You know what I mean? They're really good. I want to, you know what I mean? So I was very happy with this. I was totally fine.
Yeah. This is a very
so good.
Yeah, this is a very interesting style matchup between these two girls and their interesting backgrounds. So I was very looking forward to this one.
Yeah, because you had the striker in Ying Lee versus like the gymnast, the athletic side from Kelani, and as we're going to get into again, Kelani really you really saw both those elements on display in that match. But yeah, again, I can't wait to talk about that match. That was probably if it wasn't for the main event, the women's match was my favorite match of the night. So
yeah.
Okay. Next, we're going to get into the Nemeths versus Matt Cardona and HTM. This was okay. You know what I mean? Again, this was this was nothing to write home about, but you know what I mean? I think the Nemeths are a very, very good heel tag team, and I hope that they stick around past when the Hardys leave, because I think that obviously the Hardys have less than, I think the Nemeths still have a lot more than the Hardys do in just terms of like length in the wrestling business. The Hardys are getting up there. But yeah, this was fine. You know what I mean? A weird pairing between Cardona and HTM. You got to get HTM on the show, I guess. You know what I mean? Make Joe, our friend Joe, happy.
What's the TNA show without the hometown man? So
I really, it's really funny because I hope Joe didn't listen, because at one point, Hannafan, and he's not even a heel, just said, Diener couldn't win a match when he didn't have the mask on, and then he goes home and becomes hometown man, and all of a sudden he's winning. I thought that was very funny, and I also thought the spot with the multiple jerseys, the second one being the Garnett jersey, I thought that was pretty dope. But this is okay. This was whatever.
Yeah, this was a way to solve both sides, because the Nemeths, they previously had their issues with the hometown man and stuff, and they're feeding with not sure if they're feeding right now, but like they have issues with Matt Cardona too and stuff. So this kind of like put two birds with one stone. Yeah, this was a very entertaining stuff. Yeah, with the jersey, crowd was behind them and stuff, and then the Nemeths playing the cocky heels. And of course, towards the end of the match, they were able to. They won the match, I believe. Yeah, so then after the match, insult to the wound. They took off his mask, and you notice that Cardona tried to hide the mask. I mean, even though we know who it is, but like, they took off his mask, the hometown man's mask, and yeah.
Yeah, again, I thought I do like that bit, because the idea of, you know what I mean, the way he sells it, like we don't know what he looks like. But yeah, again, this was fine. Okay. Next, we're going to move into what I would call a surprising match, just in time, in terms of the fact that I thought I was going to hate it. It was Mike Santana versus Ridge Holland. And I like how Mike Santana kind of came out and announced himself from the upper parts of the arena, kind of like where the concession stands would be. But let me just say this about Ridge Holland. If Ridge Holland would have, let's say, came to TNA years ago, before I've just seen him so many times where things have like not went like right in terms of where they booked him, I might have been a fan, because the way that this match was booked is whoever the agents in TNA, it's like they kind of booked Ridge how you kind of should book him. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's why I don't think I hated this match, and a lot of it Santana. You know what I mean? He's a great worker, but yeah, no, I didn't hate this match. What do you think about this?
Yeah, this actually was a pretty good match. I know I'm not really one of those people who kind of like really diss on a talent just for the sake of it. For Rich Holland, yeah, he's kind of as our buddy Miguel will point out, I think he's kind of on the chopping block at some point or so because he's been
Mhm.
kind of he's been degraded from well, I mean, he was on NXT and then he moved up to the main roster, the Brawling Brutes and stuff, and then back to NXT and then to Evolve, and now he's doing now he's doing TNA and this and that. So I don't know. You just kind of wonder like what's next for this big guy. But as for this match, this was a very good one. I mean, obviously, Santana, Santana's going to bring the best out of you, So, I mean, I knew it was going to be a decent match, but this was actually way good than I expected. So, yeah, can't complain.
Yeah, like hopefully,
Like,
and you know
yeah,
what I mean. Like,
yeah, he moved them around like Reg. He moved Santana around like he was like a cruiserweight or so. But yeah, this was a very good sequence. And of course, we'll get
yeah,
into what happened after the match. Yeah.
yeah. Again, yeah. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that the match wasn't. It was better than I thought. I think Ridge looked good at some point at points. Obviously, Santana's on a roll right now, but yeah, Santana gets to win, hit the spin the block for the win, and then as you mentioned, who do you think shows up? Our TNA World Champion, none other than Trick Williams. Again, I like this because this is just kind of keeping the heat going. You know what I mean? We want to keep Trick's heat like max. We want to keep the Santana run, like the rooting for Santana at max. Because we're sick of this guy getting screwed. I mean, getting attacked from behind. You know what I mean? So like, this is I'm fine with that.
Yeah. And I like how Hannafin mentioned on commentary that seems like Santana's getting into the head of Trick because why else, would you be sneaking attacking on Mike Santana and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Because, Trick knows like he's a big threat and stuff. So yeah, I
Exactly.
love that. I love how like we're really deep into this, feud. This one of feud between them, Bound for Glory being close away and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So I expect more interactions on between Tuesday and Thursday's programming.
Okay, let's move into one of our first, like I would call like marquee matches of the night. We're getting Moose representing the system because, as you know, the winner of this match gets the man advantage in Hardcore War. It was Moose taking on of the system taking on Mustafá Ali of Order 4.
This was very good.
And you
As
know
as
what I
as
like again? Oh yeah, sorry. Continue.
I said, this was very good as expected.
You know what I love? I love because it just reminds me of things from my childhood. I like when you immediately see Mustafá Ali's entrance because, as you know, all the factions are
Yeah,
banned from ring. And he comes out with the 3 belly dances. It
yeah,
just reminds me when I was younger. When you see the riot gear, you're like, okay, something's fishy, or so they're gonna do something with that that's gonna play into the, you know what I mean? And so obviously, and again, this match was again. I believe you said it like on a few shows back, and it wasn't the first time you said it. Like you put Moose with, and I know it's a name that's kind of sensitive these days. I don't really like talking about him, but Moose reminds me of Brock in the sense that he is very well against the smaller athletic guys.
exactly.
Moose is very good in these kind of matches, and obviously Ali's again another one of those guys putting in the best work of his career. This was very good. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
I love this match.
You can add Brian Cage to that too. Yeah, big muscle
Yeah,
guys work best with little guys who are not afraid to kind of bump or flip and flop.
yeah,
To draw
yeah.
the crowd and stuff. So yeah, I always dig for these David versus Goliaths matchup.
Hmm.
Where this one, Goliath's actually the baby face here in this one, but
Hmm.
yeah. Of course, uh, Mustafá, being the crafty, clever one himself. You kind of figure, he had a plan going into this match. But yeah, this match was pretty good. Yeah. Originally, I said like this would probably be like a Bound for Glory match, and it felt like it felt like we had a Bound for Glory match here in this one. But yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad we kind of got like a whole 20-minute match out of this before the eventful finish and stuff. Yeah, Moose. Yeah, very agile. I love the whole spots and the go to hell red sky move. Drop kicks and this and that. And Mustafá, with the moonsaults. Shooting star press. A lot of DDTs and move and stuff. But yeah, again, yeah, good sequence by two great talented wrestlers. And of course, nearest towards the end of the match, as Moose was gonna line up for the spear. Yeah, the belly dancers, came back for whatever reason. They distracted. Yeah, they distracted the referee and Moose, and then one belly dancer. Yeah, just kind of gave Moose a low blow. You kind of figure, you kind of figure who was that. You kind
I
of.
loved it when Tasha revealed herself. Yeah, I loved it. Like that was such a good reveal.
And that's clever. That's clever too by Tasha because she was she was dressed in something different like when Mustafa came to the ring. So it kind of took everyone off guard, like who is that and stuff. But I guess she switched clothing with one of the belly dancers, to to pull that stuff. But yeah, anyway, Mustafa took advantage with the drop kick and then with the 450. Got the win. So Order 4 has the advantage going into Hardcore War.
Yeah. Again, I love this match. The heels always should have the advantage going into matches like this. So yeah, again, this was the first of like what I would call the marquee match of the show. And
definitely.
Yeah, great finish.
Definitely. Okay. Besides Myron versus Leon, this is a match folks definitely need to go check out.
Yeah. And I would add the women's title match to that. Okay, next we're going to go to what I thought was a very, very fun match. Again, it was the Matt Hardy versus AJ Francis. They just happened to be a tables match. We got a fuck you AJ chant. So anyone who doubts, that we're, heat in wrestling anymore, if it doesn't exist, AJ out there getting heat. Obviously, I feel like the foreign crowds, whether they're in Canada, obviously overseas, they're very good. This was very fun. It's funny, obviously. We know as the years went by, Matt Hardy eventually went to the middle rope, but I swear that side effect off the middle rope was pretty dope. You know what I mean? This was a very entertaining match.
Yeah, this was very good. AJ, being the big man, but AJ Francis too, another big man who can do a lot of good aerial moves and stuff. So this was a good way to get the fans pumped for Bound for Glory, table match coming. What's interesting is we haven't really seen Swan's other cohorts, Rich Swann AJ Francis' other cohorts, Rich Swann for some time. Wonder what's that about, but anyway. And of course, Jeff couldn't make it to Canada for a reason, so I'm glad we kind of got this sequence of a match. One half of the Hardys versus one half of First Class. Had a pretty good tables match. It's crazy that Matt Hardy can still go at this age. Still do a lot of cool moves, the side effect, Russian leg sweep, and the twist of fate and stuff. But this was a good one. Went off the top rope with a leg drop for the table. Yeah.
Very dope. Very dope.
Not have been a good week for AJ. He got missed. He got green misted last Thursday. Eliminated first in the Battle Royal, and then this tables match. So not a good week for AJ.
And I'm glad you mentioned Rich, because I remember someone in the group chat was asking where Rich was. They were talking about Rich not having, AJ not having any friends, and Ray Walt did mention it, Rich. So I think we will see Rich, back again. You know what I mean? So I don't think they'd mention it if he wasn't still kind of in the mix. Okay. Next, we're going to move into, again, I think this is one of the, not like a long time. This is like one of the best Knockouts title matches, I think, TNA Knockouts title matches since when Jordan was champ. This was a very good match.
Wait, do we miss EY versus Hendry, or was that later?
Oh yes, I totally I skipped that. Sorry. Yes, Yes, we did have Eric Young versus Joe Hendry, and I'm glad you mentioned we brought the because I had tweeted. You would think a heel would know not to say his name because EY basically kind of came out and said there was going to be no match, and then Joe Hendry did come out as soon as he said his name. At first, because I think I picked Eric Young to win in this match. Who did you pick, Kyle?
Originally, I was picking EY. I mean, because of the situation, Hendry was, the situation with Henry's, time remaining, and EY and the cleanse and stuff. That's at least what I thought. But also, Hendry got attacked earlier in the night.
Yes,
they show he got
that's
attacked,
why. Yeah. But this was a good match. I think Hendry actually has kind of looked really good in this match. I thought this is the best he's looked a little bit. Like not like this, he's been terrible. Obviously, Eric's always good. I love old man EY. He has such a good elbow drop off the top. So again, this match is moving along. We get at one point we get Williams and Icarus coming out. I mean, Travis Williams and Judas Icarus coming out, and again, I was actually thinking that they were going to help EY, but they helped Joe Hendry. They were able to help Joe get the win by distraction. And at one point, let me just say real quick before you go, Io, I'm not surprised now that I think about it, and I don't want to. My statement might rile up the people who think the WWE owns TNA conspirators. But now that I think about it, I don't think we're going to see Joe Hendry lose much because I don't think WWE would want that. And I think now that there's kind of like this working relationship, and I think they know that he's going to WWE. I think WWE might have asked, hey, can we maybe like Bill Joe going strong into when because I don't think they would want, I'm assuming a lot of people watch more than just one brand now, more than just WWE. So I think it would kind of be stupid to have Joe go into WWE with all these losses. You know what I mean? Exactly. So I think they're going to keep him strong. So like now I'm not kind of surprised at this finish.
Yeah. It's it seems like TNA wants to do Hendry right on the way out. Give him that, especially since he's on NXT. He's still on NXT weekly, so it seems like they're slowly kind of transitioning him out while still on a momentum or so.
Exactly.
So, it's the same like normal when some talents are leaving. They're on a losing streak, like the same like they did with Deanna and Josh Alexander and with Deanna and Josh Alexander and stuff. So it seems like they want Hendry to still carry that momentum that he had on TNA leading into NXT.
Yeah, because like I said, I think I mentioned on Spaces, I don't think that Joe is going to I think he's just going to walk right into WWE as soon as it's done with TNA. So yeah, they're going to keep him strong. So yeah, I have no problem with that. And they're phasing him out, but they're doing it in a way to make him look good because I think that Joe's been great for the company. Okay. Yes. So yes, as I was alluding to, we have the Knockouts women's title match, and like I said, this was probably one of the best Knockouts women's titles match since the Jordan days. This match over-delivered for me. You had a great clash of styles. We had Kelani, like the gymnast, high flyer, versus Ying Lee, the striker. And I don't want to hear nothing about that one botch move. I've already seen people writing with that. I feel like that's some people's agendas. They wake up and they want to cover botches. Fuck that. This match was fucking really good. Kelani showed out again. Kalani's probably the one or two to watch for in NXT. I think Ying Lee.
I mean, if any, I'll let you continue.
No, I was just gonna say I look at Ying Lee as completely an NXT wrestler. I don't want to hear anyone basically say this is basically two NXT wrestlers. No, I saw so little of Ying Lee in NXT that I feel like I've seen triple of that in TNA. So I look at her as a TNA wrestler. This match was spectacular.
Yeah, this was a very, very good sequence. yeah, you mentioned the gymnast background, Kalani, the Muay Thai, MMA strike, and of you know, I mean the karate striking of Lei Ying. This was a very good sequence. I'm a fan of both ladies' work. So on a personal standpoint, like I would have been fine with either winner. But I mean, obviously, this is TNA, so I wouldn't lie if I wasn't rooting for Lei Lee to take this one. But yeah. As far as the botch, yeah, just a bunch of trolls, being for the sake of trolls, but
It,
whatever. So the interesting part is, yeah, Indy Hartwell's the referee in this, as planned. So you kind of figure you're like, yeah, she's going after the winner. Is she gonna show like a little? I mean, like something was gonna go down. Like usually when a babyface referee, like either something happens where didn't see, or whether it's like didn't see foot on the rope, or that was two, or the referee get knocked down. Of course, she got hurt later on in the match. So, but yeah, mostly this was a great sequence match, and it really helped shake away the dark cloud earlier of Ash vacated the belt, and then of course the Masha situation. So it felt like we're moving into a new phase of the knockouts. But yeah, during the match, Indy got I mentioned Indy got knocked out. Lei Lee, hit her striking finisher or her thunderstorm kick or whatnot. Tried to go for the three, but the referee was down. Um, Lee was a little upset. She thought she had him, and then of course, yeah, Kalani, countered back. Was able to reverse, and then of course, hit her finisher, the split legged moonsaults. And then of course, once you take a look at Indy Hartwell when she count the three, like the 1, 2. As soon as the third hand hit stop, it's like she couldn't believe that she just counted the three of an NXT talent winning the TNA title. Again, I know people have their differences. I mean, okay, yeah, people have their differences about it. Mine too, but seems like we're kind of leveraging on this whole invasion storyline, leading into bound for we're increasing the invasion storyline, so to speak. And it seems like it's still involving both world titles. So what was your thought? I know I asked you yes or yes. So again, what was your thought when Kalani won the belt? And what do
well,
you think
first of all,
from her?
I was a little kind of weirded. I didn't want Indy to play into the finish, her getting taken out. That's fine. You know what I mean? Just because I thought it was kind of a distraction to have her as a special guest referee anyway. The Kalani, that split-legged moonsault, like it's flawless. Like I don't think I've ever seen her not hit it. It's almost like Soul's. I mentioned her again. It's almost like Soul's Soul Snatcher. I mean, they're so good at those. Yeah, this was a really good match. And I want to address the people who don't seem to get it. Like if you didn't understand from when TNA showed up to NXT why this might happen, to them trademarking the name Invasion, to Kalani winning, and come on, this is adding juice to BFG. You're gonna have, come on, this is the beauty of wrestling. It's almost taking elements of MMA, but making it be able to, you can script it. You can script who you have winning. You're writing this. You know what I mean? And it's almost like these fucking people who are complaining are the same ones who say that they love their favorite part about wrestling is the storytelling. Well, they're telling a good story right now. I don't know what more people want.
Because some of them already have a disdain for WWE, and they just can't really see the big picture. Okay, TNA's being little bro-ish or this and that. Both companies are working towards each other. If if WWE didn't really care about TNA, they wouldn't have acknowledged them. They wouldn't even go forward with doing all this, or even like I've mentioned, Vic Joseph plug in the Bound for Glory matches and stuff. So this is exactly what TNA wants, guys. Like they want the exposure.
Mhm.
Like yeah, they want those titles on a bigger screen, and they're still in talks of trying to get like a media rights deal. So like I get it from like the hardcore, and I know it's mostly like the hardcores obviously are upset, rightfully so. But I mean, hey, we've gone through worse things. Like we're hardcores too.
Mhm.
Like we gone through worse things. You guys are not losing
Yeah.
sleep over a title. You guys are not losing sleep over a title change. Believe me.
Is
And of course,
the NXT Invasion show live?
it's live.
Exactly. So this is making that show more intriguing. Bound for Glory is a live show where people are paying to go to. You want to justify that what you're paying for that ticket. People talk about everything. People want to know what sells the most. Well, like you want to pay to see your favorite NXT wrestler your TNA wrestler get their belt back. Like you can't win with these people
because you bro, trust me. I've learned that. I learned that some are just gonna be upset and they're just gonna have to, just wait till like wait till like when they fully understand. Like basically just kind of like let it flow through. So yeah, the end goal, Bound for Glory. It seems like we're gonna get most of our titles, hopefully all our titles back. And guys, we mentioned earlier they just booked the Hardys versus Dark State. Like I think I got a good feeling who's winning who's winning that match. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So let's just relax, calm down.
Exactly.
We're trying to apparently
TNA is gonna be fine. Like take a deep breath. TNA is gonna be
BFG
fine.
is supposed to be a bigger crowd than Slammiversary,
This is
so
all
we
about
want to.
this is all about building towards the invasion and Bound for Glory.
They want to try to. They're Bound for Glory is supposedly going to have more attendance than Slammiversary, if that's right,
plus,
right? So
they're acting like and Kalani's a good talent. She's primed for bigger things, in the main roster and stuff. Folks are acting like they gave the title to like a generic talent or whatnot.
and let's be real. Let's be honest. I believe I've seen. I don't want to. I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to misquote them, especially if they didn't say this. But I believe I've seen multiple people say that TNA kind of forced this because with the combination of Tessa being kayfabe suspended, we're not going to mention her name, but she's dealing with some things. Realistically, Kelani is the best person to put this title on, and it was going to be a transitional title as soon as transitional champion. As soon as we knew what happened with Ash, because the writing on the wall is Indy's probably going to win at BFG. So I think Kelani is the best person to put the title on.
Yeah. It seems like Indy might be primed to win the title, and they probably wanted whoever won this match to have like a short reign. And they would rather have an NXT talent do that. Again, we all have our own side of opinions and what matter, but it seems like they rather basically like add more to the NXT TNA stuff for Bound for Glory. As we'll get into another title match later. But
I think what makes us less upset about this is just like the fact that I thought a lot more people watch other. We're fans of Kelani. You know what I mean? So we pay attention to. You know what I mean? So it didn't bother me. You know what I mean? Like if anyone was. So I'm happy.
I think another mistake on WWE and TNA's view is they think the TNA fans we watch NXT. I mean, that's not really. I mean, some, but not like all. That's not really the case. We pay attention to Raw and SmackDown, but like NXT, I mean, in their minds, is still like a developmental brand. So
yeah.
Put it this way: if it was like an Io Sky or Bailey or Rhea winning the title, it would garner much attention from like all across the world. So. Yeah.
Okay, let's move into what. Yeah, I completely agree with you. Let's move into what I thought was. I think obviously we're talking about the match but I think every TNA fan, long-term TNA fan, walked away from this match being very happy, and if not happy, but just going like, you know what, well done. It was the international championship match. Frankie Kazarian taking on Steve Maclin. I'm glad that they put. I'm glad like this match did main event because like let's say you put the X Division Championship match before this. Like not that this was a bad match, but this was like a very traditional wrestling match, and that doesn't mean it was bad. But like this match, you know what I mean? Like I'm glad this match went when it did. It was good. Kazarian's a fucking pro. Maclin is very good. This was great. And again, I'm glad it's the winner. But what'd you think about this?
Yeah, this was a very good classic routine by two very good, two very good, performers. Surprised, Jake Sub wasn't a factor into this, but it didn't really matter. But Frankie, as I mentioned in our space chat, Frankie's done a great job reinventing himself, from the early days in the Asylum, and then trying every gimmick left and right with the suicide gimmick and stuff, and then Bad Influence, SoCal Uncensored, SCU, then coming back, and now with the King of TNA gimmick. So, and he's still kicking it. Like I feel like this is his best run now. And of course, Steve Maclin, what's more to say about the dude? Had a good reign, international champion, was TNA world champion at one point, and these two being the forefronters of the TNA locker room and stuff. So this was a good sequence. I feel like the right guy kind of won, sort of in some way. And what's interesting is that Maclin got distracted by El Messias from AAA. For us OG fans, that's the former Judas Messias. So I'm sure, you guys are familiar with him. So
I mentioned last night I know him as Mia Muertes first, and then I went back. But
Mia Muertes, El Messias. This dude changed so many names; it's hard to keep up.
And I refresh my memory again because her name was Katarina in Lucha Underground. What was the name of her name in WWE? Mia Muertes Valet. Was it Oksana? No, it wasn't Oksana. What was her name in WWE? If you remember right. If you remember.
I'll have to look it up.
Okay. Yeah, no. Is
she in CMLL right now, or?
No, I'm not sure. I'm gonna look it up. But let me just say the first time I saw Ricky Macias from TNA, I just recently saw him when he pulled Abyss under the ring. I believe they brought him in at one point as Father James Mitchell's son. I believe.
Son. The son-in-law or whatever. Like, both up. Basically, I'm trying to remember. So Abyss, was having this feud with Father James Mitchell, involving Abyss's mother. It's a long story. If you guys really want to watch it back and stuff. So long story short, Father James Mitchell's claiming to be Abyss's father, and then Judas Messias is the half brother. No, sorry, not half brothers. Half brothers or whatever you want to call it. So it was a personal rivalry between Father James Mitchell and Abyss. It involved Judas Messias. When I saw Messias, he was kind of a little intimidating. Like blood was like pouring out of his mouth out of nowhere. It's like and then rolling doing the old Undertaker rolling the eyes and stuff. So you really took notice.
By the way, real quick, I looked it up. She was Maxine in WWE.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
you mean that NXT rookie Maxine?
I'm not sure, but yes, said she went by Maxine in WWE.
Small world.
But I'm glad Kazarian won. This is awesome because I think that this will kind of make people happy, who me included, who he didn't get his world title win. But I think this is just as good because I think that they're trying to build this belt up. So who better to have it than a TNA legend as the second person to hold it? And for people upset about Steve Maclin, I think that once Steve Maclin became a face and blew people away with how good he is as a face, I think that he's literally untouchable right now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I think Steve Maclin is so over that it doesn't matter if he has a title. You know what I mean? Because he made that title. So,
exactly. He's the inaugural champion. Like, done a good job of like setting the standard for that belt. So I mean, he may get it back. I mean, depending what's next. Like if
yeah.
they continue on the feud with Frankie. Again, it's interesting why did El Basias distracted him and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, got involved. So it's interesting. So,
Okay, last but not least, let's move into the main event, which was the match of the night. I want you to start us off with this one because this was an incredible match. What did you think about this?
this was an absolute sequence. I was just watching it just now. Um, a real good sequence matches of both guys. Very similar in the ring. Um, I love that. Wentz and Trey, did the whole rascal entrance and then kind of introduced Myron to the ring, basically kind of like big bro into little bro, and like, hey, this is your moment. Go make the most out of it. But yeah, as I mentioned, both guys have very similar sequence. Uh, yeah, Myron. I've been a fan of Myron Reed since the MLW since the MLW time and stuff, and I've always impressed by the way the way he moves. Like, of course, like he does like the back flips and the way he the way he moves around the ring and stuff. And my favorite move, the flame on, where he runs and do an outside cutter to the floor. And of course, Leon Slater, who's just freaking incredible. Like, if you're not a Leon Slater fan, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, I mean, if you're not a Myron Reed fan after this one, what the hell is wrong with you too? So this was a this was a very good, perfect mismatch. I mean, perfect match. Um, what I like during this one was both guys were trying to oh yeah, the stung dog millionaire. I think, yeah, Myron, he goes for like the stun dog millionaire, and then Leon reverse, and then both guys were out the ring, and then of course he hit it outside the ring. But yeah, both guys had a lot of reversals, a lot of counters. Like, it's like they almost knew each other, knew each other, to for some time. But yeah, eventually, Leon was gonna you know get the best out of Myron, and then of course hit the 450 after for the 1, 2, 3. But yeah, again, this was a great match. Definitely recommend. And I figure, yeah, because ain't nobody, as predicted, ain't nobody was gonna top this one. I mean, Mustafá came close, but yeah, no one was gonna top this, so it had to be the main event. So what was your thought?
You know, if and I'm joking when I say this, 'cause sometimes I almost feel like Meltzer will, like any Meltzer, any match that has Osprey in it automatically gets like, well, certain guys get like a automatic star to begin with. It's almost like with TNA, with Meltzer, like it's almost like they start out with minus a star. Like this match, again, it's not like that bothers me, but this match has to get 5 stars. You know what I mean? Just because I feel like TNA's, they've only had like 2. They've got their second one up till recently. I think it was Osprey and Alexander got 5 stars according to Meltzer.
Yeah,
But I
this
just
this
think,
definitely, not that I care about Meltzer, but yeah, this definitely is
yeah,
5 star worthy. Yeah,
I like paying attention to the range, but it doesn't bother me when one of my favorites doesn't get it. But like, I just think that lately they've been putting out so many matches that deserve
exactly,
to be
exactly.
watched, and this is one of them. Like this was incredible.
Like,
Like, and again,
you guys gotta let these. Again, I don't even care. Again, I don't even care. But you guys gotta let these, people know, if you're gonna be judging or grading wrestling matches, you need to check out TNA matches.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think this match, like again, to echo what you said, sign Myron Reed as well. Hopefully,
yeah.
TNA
Sign
does
Myron
some.
Reed.
Yeah, because
And
he looked
what's
incredible in
interesting?
this match.
Like, okay, continue.
Oh no! What were you saying?
I was gonna say, what's interesting because um, they just showed, yeah, Carlos Silva granted some All Star awards. He normally does that. So he granted to both Leon and Myron for their performance. So again, I mean, if that's not a signal, like, hey, you got to keep Leon Slade. I mean, keep Myron Reed around. Like, I don't know what. Like, this dude is just killing it and stuff. So it'd be a shame if they just let him walk.
And you know what? And this is not to take away anything from the other rascals, Wentz and Miguel, but more than the other three, Myron screams like potential main eventer to me. You know what I mean? Like there's something. And again, I don't know. There's something about him. Like I think that he is somebody that they should go all the way with. I mentioned this last night. Like it's like the Ace Austin. They got to start doing more with like those three guys. Like just in terms of booking them, like making them feel like they're important. You know what I mean? Like some people want. I think all these girls want to be in meaningful spots. But yeah, not only they need to sign him, but they need to push him to the moon because Myron is very good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mentioned in our group chat they need to find like these core of young guys that could potentially lead the company or be like in the forefront, like the way Moose and Maclin and Mustafá are. Like, what I'm saying? Like, you need guys like Wentz and Trey and Myron to kind of really represent and carry that forward in the TNA brand.
And just like in sports, like it's always cheaper to sign guys early, like when they're younger, to like what I mean, like
exactly.
Like we were talking about earlier in the deal. Like I think Ace, I think just we were talking about like I think Ace just wanted a little bit more, and I bet you like literally it was probably like a little more. Like that's what I'm saying. Like Ace is not even a sign yet.
Exactly. Like you look at Ace.
He's gonna be more expensive later.
Yeah, you look at Ace before when he got signed, and then how he is now. It was like he's really matured and grown, and like really, like I mean, he's he's ventured off to AEW and stuff, but like he's done well, kind of developed along with the TNA brand. So.
I'm willing to bet that what AEW is paying him, TNA could have afforded. Like unless like it's some astronomical number, which I don't think it is. Like I bet you the TNA could have afforded that. You know what I mean?
Definitely. But the thing is, like, if they would have to like put more investment in towards him, like whatever money they could offer. But I mean, again, like that's the direction you need to be going to, like focusing more on the young guys. And I hope that's kind of the direction for next year. Because, like, again, no offense to like the vets and like the ex WWE talent, but at some point you got to have certain talent. And I know our buddy Mike Gilbert mentioned this too. You got to have certain talent that you can grow and help represent the brand, and like possibly maybe keep around for like another few years before WWE and AEW really take notice on them and stuff. So
exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'll make the argument then. And maybe TNA thought of it like, okay, we have a lot of young guys we need to build up, so we could let Ace go. Okay, if that's the case, and like I said, then they need to start booking all three rascals. Like, they need to start making them in the forefront. You know what I mean?
When Ace left, it felt like kind of a void. It's like, oh crap! Like they let this guy go who many folks, even me, since like he was primed to be TNA World Champion. Him, Chris Bay, another. I mean, hopefully hopefully he gets well too. But
and you know what?
Guys like Ace, Leon Slater, who were just mentioned, and Myron, the Rascals, all those guys. Those are ones you just need to keep in your pocket at all givens. Like they're not ready to like leave this brand still, because like they haven't even reached their prime. So.
Speaking of Leon, he's so young that he's got like multiple big time deals coming. Like there's no reason that TNA should not be able to keep Leon till like not at least the next 7 years. TNA should at least be able to keep him because again, like let it from 28 to like 35, like 36, like that's going to be his prime. You know what I mean? So, but TNA should be able to keep him now. Exactly. Like when
the time is now, he needs to be their. I know I'm bringing up AEW. He needs to be their Kyle Fletcher. Like their Kyle Fletcher to where. Like Leon needs to be like their Kyle Fletcher to what AEW is to him, like someone that's dependent on to main event, which he did. Someone who's dependent on like to really represent the brand. We're in the UK and media, and I got a good feeling about some UK news. I mean, we'll address that another time. So like, you need guys like Leon to really kind of like show like why TNA is the place to kind of grow and nurture.
Yeah, like I would, you know what I mean? Like maybe you don't have like a feud breakup, but I would break the Rascals up and put all three of them, including signing Myron Reed, like into singles competition / like main event. You know what I mean? Because like we got to start again. Moose is a little older. You got to start phasing some of these guys out, and like if you want to keep these younger guys, you got to at least keep them happy with like doing something. You know what I mean? And obviously, don't let them get away. The numbers are so small that like you don't want to like. That's why people should also be hoping, be glad that we are on a deal on the horizon with a new TV deal, because that's how you afford to keep some of these your core. I mean, you got to take care of your core. So, but obviously we're getting distracted.
Yeah.
We need to talk about what went down after the match. We got probably.
Oh wait, sorry.
Biggest...
One more thing. Oh, one more thing. I found the name of that woman that was in that battle royal earlier.
Who?
Oh my god. I'll show it to you in a group chat. So La Pescadita Ruiz. She's a Mexican talent.
And yeah, speaking of Mexican talent, people should be happy that, okay, wait a minute, is the AAA rivalries, AAA partnership sparking back up with Macias coming in. So, because I believe he's a AAA talent, right?
No, she's not.
No, Macias is a AAA talent.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
Because then you said a Mexican talent, so it just made me think of that again.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's get
talk
into what happened after the match. Yeah.
Yes, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's not too many dream matches.
Yeah. Santino's music hits, and then, yeah.
Santino announces that at Bound for Glory, somebody's called basically Leon out, and we get none other than Javon Evans.
Yeah.
I marked out as soon as I was like, oh, man. And it's, you know what I mean? I almost would main event with that, even though it's going to be Santana's night. You got to... I'm pumped for this one, Isle.
Yeah. When this partnership was announced, other than Moose versus Obafemi, there was another match that got a lot of folks talking. Like, what if, like the young OG and the youngest in charge? Like, it felt like this match was made. This is a match made in heaven, which it does feel like a match made in heaven. So I'm excited. Like, and I feel like this was fitting to kind of like have this announcement at the end.
These guys get compared are compared a lot because these two guys are basically two of the futures of wrestling. Like, look at their age and like, you know what I mean? The future of the two companies they're in. Like, I look at Javon the same way I look at Leon. Like, man, like, you know what I mean? Like, for the next 20 years, those two guys are going to be a problem. You know what I mean? Like, those are two.
For real.
And they're also very similar to me, and they're deceptively a little taller than you would think for what high flyers they are.
Put it this way, it's like I'm trying to think of a comparison. It's like young Kobe going up against young LeBron. So to speak.
Yeah,
I guess you could say that. Yeah, young Kobe going against a young LeBron before both guys even hit their primes. And Leon and Javon, they have not even hit their primes yet, guys. But like, they are still like killing it and stuff. Like, I mean,
exactly. Like
Javon Evans just had a match, earlier, and then the match with Sami Zayn. So like, this dude's killing it.
It's like usually you get, okay, to use this example, they just called Canelo and Crawford a dream match, and I believe both those guys are near 40. Yeah. The fact that we're getting a dream match between two people who are like not even 21 yet, you know what I mean, and the fact that we're going to get multiple ones of these guys hopefully in the future, it's pretty cool. And again, let's calm the haters down. I know it's a title match. I don't think Leon's winning. I think that is the one belt. Yeah, I don't think Javon's winning. I think the X Division belt is the one belt that would never leave TNA. I truly feel.
I was going to say that too. I don't think that's their. Out of all the titles, this is like the holy grail. This one. I don't think TNA is willing to go that route.
And to be honest with you, the X Division title in some ways is more important than the world title. I'm not talking about in the way that in the pecking order, but I'm just talking about its importance to the company.
Yeah. This is a match between two guys who defined the whole X division, no limits,
Mhm.
style, and we're getting it, in less than 2 weeks too. Like we don't even got to wait that long. So it's
When you
like,
said no limit,
yeah, like so if like NXT fans are going to be wild with Javon Evans, TNA fans, I mean NXT fans are going to be wild with Leon Slater, TNA fans are going to be wild with Javon Evans. Like it's going to be a very awesome match. And that's
also again,
that's the cool thing about this relationship. We're actually getting dream matches that we want to see. We got the Hardys and Traxium too. So
exactly. Like, put it this way too. Like, we're almost going to starting to treat BFG a little bit as it's kind of shaping into almost like a Forbidden Door situation. You know what I mean? Like, we're seeing a lot of joint matches, and also again, like for the people who are wondering, like, why is this match happening? Worrying about the belt changing hands. This is the kind of match that puts the butts in the seats.
yeah,
Who people care about. This, you know what I mean? Like, this is the kind of match you put
exactly.
for the
Like
show.
I care more about what, like how good the match was or the show was than the title
Yeah.
changes. I mean, obviously, I want Leon to retain and stuff, but that's not the focus there. The focus is we're getting a dream match, guys. Like, can we put focus on that? You know,
Exactly. Completely agree with you.
yeah.
Okay. Well,
Like,
I think we
just sit back. Yeah, one more thing. Just sit back and relax. Like,
exactly.
this, like, Bound for
Take it
Glory.
easy.
Yeah, exactly. Take it easy.
Like Santino says, take it easy.
TNA knows exactly what they're doing. That's what do you want to believe? What we have to say or not? TNA knows exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, it's like
For good or
no
worse.
No disrespect to sorry. I was just say no disrespect, but like what did they want? Like I think it's because like they're worried like with someone like Javon, like, oh shit, they might put the X Division title on him. So like what would you want? Would you want like Leon versus like Lexis King? No disrespect to Lexis King, but that match isn't selling tickets like like Javon versus Leon. So you know what I mean? Like, don't worry about the title. Worry about how good the match is going to be.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So you're booking a match. You're booking a match that people want to see, but you're worried about who's winning or who's losing, which title. I mean, I get that, but at the same time, like, don't try to like suck away the fun before it even starts. You know what I'm saying?
It's almost like they already have their outrage.
That's the problem with these worried wrestling fans and these worried TNA hardcores. Like, guys, just try to have fun. Like,
they've already filmed their outrage video. It's in their draft.
Fake outrage. Selective outrage. Yeah.
Okay.
Just have fun.
Well,
all right, I'm done.
I believe we've covered it all tonight. We covered a lot. Again, there's a lot happening right now. And so we just got like, this was supposed to be the Victory Road to TNA, but now we just got like basically like another pit stop. You know what I mean? NXT Invasion is a must. I mean, NXT Invasion is a must watch for TNA fans.
Yeah.
It's not like some weeks in NXT where they'll have an appearance. We're getting, we know 3 matches involving TNA wrestlers, and I could see them adding maybe one more. So, yeah, like I would say keep watching, obviously. But I'll final thoughts before we get out of here.
Yeah, man, this it's been a very good, fun, strange, all in one week for TNA, and it's only going to get more bigger and exciting. So, like I mentioned, just strap up, enjoy the ride. We can discuss, worry, complain, whatever when it's all done. That's just how the way I roll. So,
yeah, like you could say that, like, instead of being upset about a fake title going to the other side, why don't you be happy that the fact that TNA wrestlers are going to get more exposure and they're going to get to be on TV 2 nights instead of 1 night. You know what I mean? Like, come on, and you know what I mean? Quit worrying. You know what I mean? Quit worrying about what you think. Enjoy the show. But with that being said, I want to thank Kyle for joining. I want to make sure you guys like and subscribe this video.
And we're all winning. Everyone wins. That's what matters too.
Exactly. Like and subscribe to this channel. That way you get notified whenever we go live or whenever the many great people at Body Slam go live. And with that being said, have a good night, everyone.
Peace.
Peace.